Hello, and welcome to the Nature Journal Connection. I'm your host, John Muir Laws. Today, I want to share with you several of the fast sketching techniques that I use when I'm out in the field. So these are fast, they're portable systems. You don't have to master them all. You don't have to use any of them. But I'm going to suggest that you take a look at these different techniques, and there may be one here where you say, like, ooh, that's pretty cool. I want to incorporate that strategy into my journaling approach. And what you'll find is that then when you are rendering an object, when you're making a sketch of something that you see, you're able to get what you see down on the page in a way that's easier and more convincing. And I think you're going to find that it's a lot of fun as well. Let's take a look at some of the strategies that you can use for fast field sketching.
I start most of my sketches and drawings with a very light colored pencil sketch. This allows me to block in basic shapes before adding any details. This is especially useful if I'm going to be drawing something in pen, which I can't later erase. For my first fast sketching technique, I'm going to reach for a water-soluble felt tip pen. With this, I can start with just a regular line drawing of the object that I'm looking at, but I'm also going to add some lines into the darkest shadow areas of the object. This will both help me represent the shadows that are on that side of the object. However, they're also going to provide a source for ink for me in step 2. What, you ask, is step 2? Well, I'm going to take a brush. Here I've got a brush called a water brush that already has the water inside the handle of it, but you can just use a regular paintbrush for this. I wet the surface of the ink. Because it's water soluble, it liquefies, and then I can use that to brush around on the object, creating really cool shadow effects. Leave some portions of the paper white. This will create 3 values: the dark of the darkest shadow, the gray made by the wash, and the white of the paper. For my second technique, I'm going to use a graphite pencil. In this case, I'm going to grab a mechanical pencil that has some dark lead in it, but you can just use a regular number 2 pencil. Start with a line drawing, and then add hatch lines into your shadows to create a darker value. Now, use a pencil smudging tool to create intermediate tones of gray. A smudging tool is just a tightly rolled piece of paper, and you use it just like a paintbrush. You rub it into the darkest values and it smooths and blends them together. It then also picks up a little bit of the graphite on the tip of the smudging tool, and you can use it just like a paintbrush to essentially paint in middle value areas of tone. So you've got 3 areas of tone: the darkest darks, these grays created by the smudger, and then the white of the paper. You can then use your pencil to draw your final details on top of your gray tones. You've got crisp details and beautiful shades of gray. For my final drawing, I'm going to use a ballpoint pen. Ballpoint pens are great drawing tools because, just like a pencil, when you press hard with a ballpoint pen, you get a big, bold, thick line. And when you press lightly, you get a light line. So this allows you to deliberately use these different line weights in different parts of your drawing. So what I do is I do most of the drawing with light to medium weight lines. And then I look at my sketch and I say, what are the primary features that I really want to stand out? What are some of the big breaks in the rock or the outline of this major rock outcrop? And I can go back over those lines and press a little bit more forcefully with my pen. I will punch in those lines and make that part of the structure really stand out. This gives you what's called a line hierarchy in your drawing. So I'm using bold lines to show the major structures, and I'm using light lines for the little details. Here's another little trick. It's subtle, but it has a big impact. Notice me making little triangles of black here, here, here on my sketch. What I'm doing is I am looking for places where there are deep shadows, where the edges of rocks come together, and in those places I am punching in an extra dark value. These dark accent points give you a greater sense of depth and shadow on the rock outcrop. If you want to push your ink drawing a little bit further, here's a really cool tool. This is a brush pen. It's a light gray pen with a chisel-shaped tip. And what I use it for is just to drop in shadows across the face of the rock. It makes a very nice, smooth, even tone gray. So I can just pay attention to where the light of the sun is shining, where it's casting a shadow. A few strokes of this pen across the rock face, and I can show areas of light and shadow.
Your nature journaling challenge this week is to explore and play with a number of different tools and materials, perhaps some of the ones which I've shown you here in this video, perhaps others that you've seen a friend using, and see if any of those are things that you would like to incorporate into your own nature journaling kit. If so, add those in. You don't want too many pencils and pens in your nature journaling supplies, or you spend so much time kind of looking through your gear that it's hard to get started sometimes. But a small set of really useful stuff that you know how to do is great. The more we practice, the better we get. Remember our growth mindset. We're always growing, we're always improving, we're always getting better. This is not about making some masterpiece. It's about learning and paying attention. Paying a little bit of attention to the tools that we use can help get those logistics out of the way, to open you up for a direct encounter and experience with the natural world. And until next time, this is your Nature Journal Connection.
You're still here. Hi. Okay, that's commitment. Since you stuck around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just one more technique. It's a really cool one.
Okay, here it is. This is our secret drawing tool. It's the water-soluble pencil. These things are really cool. And so it's a pencil that you can do a sketch with, just like a regular graphite pencil. So you start your drawing off just as you would any ordinary drawing, just like regular graphite pencil. And lay in some areas of shadow and tone. And here I'm just laying in what my darkest areas are. But then I can come over that with water. So if I take water on a brush and dip it into some of the graphite areas, some of the dark shadow areas that I've made, I will smooth the shadows in those areas. But also then I can pick up a little bit of that graphite on the tip of my brush and use it like paint in other areas, some mid-tone areas of my object. So in this drawing, Essentially, I've got three zones. I've got parts of my rock that are in strong sunlight. That's just going to be white paper. I have other areas that are in deeper shadow. That's where I'm going to actually draw in some graphite shadows. And finally, there are mid-tone areas in between those two. And to get those, I just take my brush, I dip it into those shadow areas, get some graphite, liquid graphite on the tip of my brush, and I can put those shadows into the intermediate areas. Once my paper is dry, I can start to draw details back on top of the rock surface. I didn't put these details in earlier because they would have been obliterated by the water that I used to blend all those shadows. But once the rocks are dry and I've got those graded shadows as a background, I can add cracks, I can add little divots, I can add texture onto the rock surfaces, and those are going to remain crisp. So I've got the combination of these smooth blended shadows. I also have crisp details that I can put in at the end of a drawing. And that's what makes drawing with a water-soluble pencil so much fun.
I hope that's a useful one for you as well. Give it a try, see what you think. If this is something you want to have part of your game, make it so. Until next time.